I'll try not to time it during July 4th weekend, but I can't make any promises.
Maybe half before and half late, half after.
Yep, that's usually the negotiation there
Yep.
is. Around the July 4th area. I know what your dad would say. There's no way in heck I'm spraying on July 4th. I'm gone.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Do a little bit to make you guys happy and then finish it off afterwards, so then I'm happy.
Well, if things go well this first time, that won't be quite an emergency like it is the first time usually, so.
Yep. So today we're gonna clean the sprayer out, make sure all the chemicals out of it, probably run some water through it a couple times, and make sure the spray trailer's all cleaned out, make sure there's no leftover jugs of anything in there, just to avoid confusion if once we get on beans we don't have any corn spray in there and then have a real mess on our hands then. But yeah, it'll probably take a few hours just to get all of the leftover residue out of it, but something that needs to be done before we can move on. So yeah, and there's a few filters I need to take off and just clean out. That one needs to be redone. Gotta do something with that. But then all these black filters up here, they need to be taken out, rinsed out. Make sure there's no big clumps of nothing in it. I know the past couple of years we've had issues with that. I don't exactly know why, but we have. That needs to be done. Before I put any water in it, I'm gonna dump all the booms out. That's, you turn this red knob right here on it, and then it'll dump all the moisture or all the water out of the boom. Gotta do that. I think that's about it for switching the sprayer over. I should probably go somewhere and get Erase. It's a product that takes all the active ingredient out of any chemical that you have, so that really helps to make sure that there's no leftover residue that can harm the soybeans. And then yeah, I think that's about it. It's just gonna take us a little while to get all that done. I think Kyle might be coming out here a little bit later, but yeah, overnight we had about 7/10 of rain, so today's perfect just to get all that little stuff done that you don't want to have perfect weather and waiting on doing that before you can get back in the field. So yeah, I want to get that done, find a spot for the 180, probably get the Kenworth brought back over to its storage spot, maybe even get the digger back over in the shed. Just kind of have a catch-up day on everything that needs to get done. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the sprayer anyway, and if I have time I'm gonna do everything else. So this is how I'm having to unload say 50 gallons of chemical that was left over. Yeah, I have it sitting on a pallet on a couple boards, and yeah, it's gonna be a slow, very slow drain, but I don't have the forklift up here because that's in the other shed, and with all the rain that we've had, I can't get it up here. So yeah, we're doing it this way for right now. Then the battery's dead on the forklift, and the thing never likes to start after sitting for a while, so that's how that's gonna be. But yeah, I need to get that skid loader going one of these days because it's handy to have, and there's no point in having it just sit there and not be running, or able to run I should say. But yeah, it's gonna take a while for that to drain, so I'm gonna try and find something to do here got a couple hours before lunch, so wouldn't hurt to find something else productive rather than sit here and basically watch paint dry. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go back up in the yard and start moving some machinery around. So it's the next day now. I got pretty lazy after I cleaned the sprayer out. Well, cleaned the tank out. I haven't done anything with the booms or rinsing yet, but I got it all drained out. So yeah, after I did that, I went and had lunch, and then I let the day get away from me. Got pretty lazy, but yeah, so today I'm gonna finish up the sprayer. CHS is bringing chemical out, or Meadowlands, sorry, is bringing chemical out. And then I think Brian from Central's coming out, and he's gonna give me and you guys a rundown on what we're doing for spraying this first round of beans. So yeah, it should be a decent day of getting some stuff done. Meadowlands just left. I didn't want to record anything because he said he didn't really want to be on camera, which I respect that. But yeah, I got trailer pulled back into the shed. We got AMS, Power Max, and List 1, and then the Section 3 herbicide that I've never heard of, I guess. I don't know what its purpose is really, but Smith is coming out here soon, so he'll explain it to me a little bit better and probably talk about all of them just for the sake of making sure I understand everything. But yeah, so it's good to have all of the chemicals in, and now once it dries up again we can get going spraying. We probably had about a tenth this morning of rain, so it'll take it a little while to dry up yet, but pretty soon. It won't take too long. I'm gonna probably get rid of all this trash here now, and then yeah, probably call it quits for the day because it's Friday and I really don't feel like working that late. So, got the sprayer out now, gonna fill it up with water. Well, at least I'm gonna try and run a few tanks through it until the rain gets here. See it? Way down there it's raining, but it's mostly heading south, but I think we're gonna get clipped a little bit again. So yeah, gonna run as many loads through it as I can until the rain comes, but we're just gonna give it a try. Yeah, before I run the pump and start spraying any of the water out of the booms, I always like to dump these valves here. Get on it. Just open them up, let them drain out. Sometimes they're pretty hard to get open, so I just use the pliers to make sure I'm not gonna cut my hands up or nothing. Yeah, just something good to do to make sure you get all the residual out right away, and then you can pump fresh water into it. Well, I turned the pump on, and I guess I forgot to turn these two around, so they're just gushing water out. Once you get the pump on, you want to just walk around and make sure all those valves aren't dumping any more out. Make sure that none of them are leaking either. It looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to wait and let more of it drain out. So I've ran 2 tanks through it now, so, and I had the tank rinse on, so I'm probably gonna call that good for today. Probably try and pick up some race in the morning somewhere, and then run a couple more tanks through it just to be sure. But I know Titans, they want to come out and get the 580 probably Monday, so I might try and lift it out of the ground and see if I can get it out of there without getting stuck, which I should be able to, but, well, I should say without making too big of a mess. But yeah, I'm gonna put this away, fold it all up, and then give that a try, just so then I don't have to worry about it tomorrow or Sunday, so I can have the days off. But yeah, hopefully I got this good enough for now. I can throw that erase in there and it should be good.
All right, Nick, you got the corn sprayed.
Yep, got that all sprayed. And
yesterday or the day before you got done?
Day before.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
That's all done, and now we're on to beans.
That was good. I heard the last day you got a big day, like
yep,
400 acres done.
450, 400, I want to say.
I know we were talking on the phone before that. Every day we had thunderstorms coming through, so you had to quit.
Yep.
And
lots of rain.
It took forever to get the corn sprayed, just kind of like how planting went. So.
Yep, and most of it was just being gun shy.
Right.
There'd be a storm cloud that popped up out of nowhere, half mile away, and we'd have to stop. But
right. No, it's been a very dangerous spray season for everybody in this area, because it's not like it just comes across, all of a sudden it just forms right over top of you. And
well, and that's what happened on that field over
Grandma's
we call it, but that was only 40 acres that happened to. There's at least 40 minutes of dry time on that. So
yep. As fortunately, so far the stuff we've looked at in those situations, it was so nice and warm, perfect spray conditions. Most of the time it's been working good enough.
Yep.
Actually pretty good. So we're going to keep an eye on it, but I think we're going to be good there, because it sure would be nice, as you know, to be done with corn spraying, because the corn is growing fast. It's going to be knee-high shortly, and we got beans to spray, so we want to be done.
Yep.
So beans, yeah, we're going to go over some of the mixing stuff on the beans. So beans, again, it's quite a complex recipe to some extent. Every weed seems to have its own herbicide to kill, so
sure.
We got some stuff on the sheet that shows the products you're going to put in the tank, how much to put in each load. Obviously we got the rate per acres above, but what you want to know when you're loading is how much to put in for every load.
Yep.
The one thing with this mix is it's a little bit sensitive on loading, because we got some products in here that can gum up sprayers and gum up spray booms and gum up filters, and there's nothing worse for a farmer than to have a sprayer full of goo.
We dealt with that a lot last year. I think it happened 4 times. We had it 2 times on one spray load where it just gummed up like crazy. We would clean all the filters out, and it seemed to help for a little bit, but there was a couple times where just kept happening on one load. So yeah, we bumped down the AMS, and that seemed to help, but I think it was that chemical.
Right.
That was
it's a common
cause.
Unfortunately, it's a fairly common problem. I think the whole industry is trying to work their way through it and figure out how to avoid it from happening. I can give you some tips on what they say will help minimize it, but I can't guarantee it, so don't blame me if it happens. But as we know, it ruins a day really fast, because you think you're going to put in a big day, and all of a sudden you plug up your screens and everything, and all of a sudden
an hour and a half cleaning everything out.
Yeah, it is
very
frustrating. So the biggest thing is the AMS type additive we're going to put in there. They want that in first, and they want to have you agitate it really well and give it some time to agitate. And then after that, you got to put in products one at a time. And some farmers, once in a while, I get it, and it's fine most of the time to just throw the next one in, throw the next one in, throw the next one in. Just so do it one at a time and give it some time.
Well, we normally do it, well, now we have 2 inductor cones. Fill them both at the same time, dump the one, let that run, and then it's normally the first one in the line. Let that one run, give it a second or 2 so it all can clear out of the lines, and then dump the other one.
Right, and it's kind of confusing on the agitation. talking to some other farmers, like, boy, I cut the agitation back and they had problems, and others cranked it up, but they also say sometimes too much agitation can make it worse. So I'd say keep it agitated fairly well, but nothing crazy.
So what you're thinking, run some water in it first,
Yeah.
and then
No, that's probably
turn
the
the
biggest
pump
thing
on.
is before you add anything, probably have the tank for this mix, probably have it at least half full.
at least half.
Would be nice.
Okay. I'll try and do that.
Normally, yeah, with
Yep.
corn stuff, you just started throwing water in and started the other processes. But with
Yep.
this, they kind of like that AMS to get dissolved really well in the water, and they want to do that. They want to have plenty of water in the tank already.
Sure.
So that's trick number one that hopefully works.
Yep.
The other trick with this chemical mix that we're spraying on the beans is we got to be a little more careful with the time of day. If it's cool in the morning, number one, for sure, make sure the plants are completely dry.
Sure.
Because the water hemp, again, which is our main weed around here, it's a bugger. Others to the south have one that's even meaner called Palmer amaranth. That
Yep.
we don't hopefully get that anytime soon, but this is bad enough. So that's the main weed that this mix sometimes can struggle with, and to try to prevent that is make sure it's dry in the morning.
When I'm going through the field spraying on the corn anyway, that's all I really see is grass and water hemp. That's it. There ain't much else out there.
No, it's crazy how the other weeds we've been able to control really well. The water hemp
and grass everywhere pretty much.
definitely the tricky one, and sadly there's even a meaner one than water hemp. And again, there's some other ones coming through the ranks that start getting resistant to certain chemicals, but we're going to try to keep them out of your fields too. And so then on the opposite spectrum too, in the evenings, you know, we got to be a little careful. The other stuff in the corn, I'd said you could spray that till dark. This stuff, yeah, why don't you just go to the
hours.
I call it banker's hours a little bit. Just maybe avoid that. You know, if it's perfect spray conditions and you really got to go because we're behind because of rains, there's certain nights if it's really sunny and warm and dry, I'd push the limit on those a little better than if it's muggy and cloudy and especially cool, because we want that water hemp to be actively growing and kind of a little dry to maybe have it suck in the weeds, because they have a real waxy cuticle on their leaves, and we want to get in, break through that to kill them, because there's nothing worse than spraying and it don't work.
Yeah, waste some money at that point.
Yeah, and then you got to do it again.
Yep.
And we got the lake time to go to pretty soon, because it's summer in Minnesota only lasts for 3 months, so we want to try to get some of that in too. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. We're going to go with about 12 gallons an acre. We probably should do 15 to be honest, but I realize the more acres per water per acre you do, the less gallons per fill. So at least this pass, we're going to be doing this twice. Fortunately, our fields aren't real bad. First of all, we planted a little late, so we wiped a fair amount out with tillage. So we got time to get it done. So we want to pick perfect conditions. Don't force anything. Again, watch those rains.
Yeah. What is the rain fast on this?
Very good question. Unfortunately for this stuff, you know, I told you the corn mix was only an hour, and that's plenty. This stuff, it's like 2 to 4 hours. So yeah, the way the rains have been going, you can't even predict that. So.
No, and so basically, if there's a decent chance above 30, just stay out of there.
Until we get pushed to the limit, let's probably be safe.
Sure.
More safe than sorry, because as we were talking earlier, there's, you know, the rains have been so spotty that I got customers that they have seeds still in dry dirt because it hasn't rained at all. That's how things are in the Midwest. And then you go over this way 30 miles and it's rained so much they can't even get the corn sprayed yet. They're just going to have to call in planes pretty soon, but there's no such thing because most of the chemicals can't be sprayed to the plane.
Yeah.
With the risk of drift and stuff. So
we've gotten really lucky on the amount of rain and
how
it's just been about perfect.
Yeah. No, you caught another rain last night and it was perfect amount, 5 to 7 tenths.
Yep.
If it can come in those increments every 4 days all summer, we'll be in great shape.
Yeah.
So. No, we're sitting good. We've gotten enough rain to kind of replenish our ground moisture a little bit, because we definitely came out of a drought last year. I've never seen it that dry. So.
What was it? Barely 5 inches all year.
Yeah.
And now we're at 10 in this area.
No, I'd say most any farmer that's been doing this for 40 years never seen it get that dry last year. I mean, they dig down and dig basements in for houses, and they never hit moisture 6 feet down. So yeah, we're thrilled to get these rains, but unfortunately, there's some people that aren't as fortunate. So
I know I'm not complaining about these rains. Right. It keeps me out of the fields for a couple days, but after last year, it's hard to complain, for me anyway.
Yeah.
I'm happy as the rains we're getting, because there's people over there that are getting way too much, and after last year where we didn't get any,
right?
You can't complain about it.
And the way farming is, someday you're going to be that guy or that guy. Unfortunately, this year you're hopefully in the Paradise Valley area.
So far. So far.
It's a long summer, a lot of wind and hailstorms to dodge, but we're in great shape now. So yeah, I'd say the big thing now is get your trailer all remanufactured. It's for the bean spray and chemicals in there, and be ready to go.
Yeah, corn went very well, I thought. So hopefully bean go the same way.
Yeah, your memory must have kicked in on helping your dad spray last year and the year before, because
that was pretty easy. Yep. I don't know why, but I enjoy spraying a lot, so it just came secondhand after last year, I think. But so what chemicals are we spraying? So
we're going to be doing some additives. We're going to be using Enlist 1. That's mainly going to kill all the broadleaves. We're going to be doing a product called Clethodim, which is to kill all the volunteer corn. There's always enough volunteer corn. We got to whack that out, so that takes its own special chemical. And then we're going to be using some Roundup, and that's going to be mainly killing grass and also kill some broadleaves. So again, it's quite a little recipe of things to put in there, but if things work the way they should with the weed spectrum you have, we should have a very clean field. But we'll have to probably spray again, because in this mix that we got, there's really no residual product, so we'll have to spray right again before canopy.
Always do.
So keep your July 4th weekend open for spraying.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. Yeah, you guys just seen, I was talking to Smith and getting the lowdown on everything, so I think I got a good understanding of what he wants me to do anyway, so yeah, I'm glad to be getting going on everything. Everything's lined up, so whenever fields are red, I can go. Yeah. Should be good, but I got the 580 warming up. I haven't tried lifting it out of the ground yet. Probably gonna have to idle it up pretty good for those hydraulics to work. But I'm just gonna let it warm up here for a little bit. It hasn't ran in a week or two, so let's give it a try. Lifted up a lot better than I thought it would, so back up a little bit. Muddy up. Yeah. Gosh. I don't know if you can see. I got up on the gravel, but it was pushing quite a bit of mud in front of the tire. Some good ruts that it left. Maybe it'll help drain that water out. But, well, Twins will be happy. I got it out of the mud hole for them, and I just got to unhook it, and they can come and get it whenever they need to. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day there. So if you like the video, like, subscribe, and if you have something that you think we're doing wrong or need to do different, leave a comment down below. Anyway, until next time, thank you.